Hello, everybody. This is the Cheesecake Challenge. It is 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and we are all here. Currently, we have four great artists that are on the panel, and I'm going to introduce them. We have Humble Marty, who is our wonderful, colorful young lady who shows up on the reg. It's nice to have her here. And we have another regular, Illustrator Monk. Illustrator Monk is a multiple winner on this stream. Nice to have him back. We also have Daniel Tech Vega. He's also a regular. And then we have Bad Ankle Bill on the panel for the first time. And it's nice to have him here. We may have a few other people show up, but until then, these are the four that we have. Tonight's theme is gargoyles. I should probably do the actual titled thing. Sorry, I'm bumping around on my mic. Derp. I think today we actually got everything on time, and I scheduled the stream properly, so it went to the right place. Hopefully.
Yay!
And
Da-da-da!
yeah. So I'm hoping I didn't boom her out. As far as I can tell, it seems everything went properly. So
Well, you
this,
still boogered though.
yeah, the theme today is gorgeous gargoyle girls greeting the granite grip. In other words, a beautiful gargoyle girl caught in a very compromising position as the sun peeks out to petrify her for the day. So that's kind of the theme. You have you can choose whatever you like to do that, but the things that we want with that are something something has put her in a position where she's compromised, and that could be sexy or it could be scary or whatever, but the sun's peeking out and she's starting to petrify. You can make the gargoyle girl look like anything you want. Just remember, it is a gargoyle. It doesn't have to be the Disney-esque one or the one from the 90s or anything, but make her sexy. And if you can, as usual, add some color. That is always appreciated, and extra points. So that's what we're doing. And let me ask all of our panels if they got anything going on. Humble, do you have anything that you'd like to promote right now?
I do have my book out on Amazon, The Adventures of Corcorn.
That's cool.
Science fiction that pulls no punches.
Science fiction that pulls no punches. Excellent. Let me go see. I'm going to check on the chat real quick here. One moment. I got to keep filling this up. We're live, and let's see. We have.
Says you got kicked out and had to refresh.
I got kicked out.
No, Sci-Fi Snob said he got kicked out and had to refresh.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully Flit Amaranth shows up and we can post maybe Marty's book online on the chat and see if we can get anybody to hit. That would be kind of cool. Illustrator Monk, anything you want to promote? Pimp, shill, etc.?
I have Saving the World live now on Kickstarter. I did a cover for that. And Tales from the Stacks collected edition is on Indiegogo right now.
Excellent. Those are two pretty cool books that I recommend. Again, hopefully we says, yeah, Sci-Fi Snob says you might have lost a few people. No, that's too bad. Yeah, we only have, from what I can see, one person in the chat. That's weird that it kicked you out. I don't know why that would do that. YouTube.
So Illustrator Monk is saving the world, huh?
Yeah, he's done saving the world. He's did a cover. It's a very, very, very cute character.
One cover at a time.
Yeah. Daniel Vega. Danny Vegas, as we call him here, Tech Corner. Anything you want to promote currently?
I'm still currently taking commissions. The sale is doing has officially ended, but you can still commission for regular price, 34 line art only characters and 45 for full colors.
Okay, right on. Bad Ankle Bill. I'm not sure if he's got his camera set up, but anything you want to promote? Maybe. Maybe his mic's not working, but we'll get back to him when things are figured out. I guess it's time to start. We're about 6 minutes out after 9. I'm going to give 2 hours and a little bit, so about 10 after 9 is when we'll stop. A few more extra minutes, and so everybody jump in and have fun. I'll try to keep a running banner. I don't seem to have a co-host today, so we'll just keep going.
Armand says, I would join the stream, but I don't have any Streamlabs or OBS set up.
Oh, does he have? I mean, if he comes on and has a camera for Hangouts, he should be able to show.
Well, he should be able. He should still be able to share his screen.
Yeah, he should be
You-
able to share a screen unless he's using it on his phone. If you can do the link on your computer, then we can highlight whatever you put on your screen. There is a way to bump that up in Hangouts, so you're sharing your screen. If you want to come on, I can kind of walk you through that if you'd like. Oh, he has no. Well, Are you doing hand drawn or are you using computer? He's asking. He says
Oh,
no camera. If
no
he's doing
camera.
hand drawn, I can understand that.
If he's doing hand drawing, yeah, then he might have an issue. But he should. But if he's doing digital, he should be able to.
Yeah, if you're doing digital, we should be able to get you on. But if not, that's fine. I understand. It's what happens sometimes.
The microphone problem. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Oh, well, I can hear
We
you
hear
now.
you.
Yeah.
We hear you now.
Hello.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was setting up the OBS studio so that it would share my screen, completely forgetting about that very easy, in Google thing where you can just do the screen share. But I'm just opening up a file. So basically, just sexy Gargoyle in a precarious situation kind of a thing.
Yeah, but she has to be turning to stone at the same time. So.
That would be good.
So
That would be fun.
she's caught at sunrise in a precarious situation, turning to stone. So yeah, that's cool. And yeah, we're seeing that.
Yeah, excellent. Alrighty, let me get a file open. So, how is everybody writing out the end of the world?
Doing good.
It's been interesting. Sorry, to get a little bit of dead air there. I was telling earlier and before we went live, I went to Walmart today to pick up stuff. I went out and also took care of my taxes, which were kind of a gut punch. But yeah, where I'm at, things seem pretty mellow. Seem pretty okay. The store was depleted a little bit, but not ridiculously so. I mean, nobody looked frantic or anything like that. It's just, and actually they were asking things like I often when I go every week I'd go and pick up 2 flats of water, and now they're asking you to just take one because people are crazy. I'd have one for the house and one for my truck when I drove around. No, and they're asking you to not do that, and I get that because that's one of those things that's everybody needs to stock up
It's a
properly.
supply and demand.
I was also telling them there was some talk around here that I heard the scuttlebutt. If you're looking for toilet paper, this industrial supply basically says they have a warehouse full of, that really thin toilet paper that's in the big rolls. So if you really need toilet paper, you can go buy it there, and and that just struck me funny. Like that you'd buy one of those big fat rolls that are in the dispensers in a stall, but I mean you wouldn't be out of toilet paper for a while.
Yeah, but it's a shitty shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's not very, it's not 2-ply or anything. It's like single ply, but it's oh look, we have armor on. Nice to show you. Am I saying that correct? Armor on.
Yes, you are.
Okay. He's a new, Armor on is new to our panel on the show. It's great to have you here. He did a
Yeah,
redesign.
that's right.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. All right. He did
You
a
have something to say, Arthur?
no. He did a redesign of Snowflake and I believe Safe Space that actually got some traction on Twitter. I really enjoyed, especially Snowflake. Very sexy. I think it's pretty much the reason you're on here. I was like, I saw that and I said, hey, you should come on the Cheesecake Challenge.
Was
'Cause-
that the like the '90s version of Snowflake? And it was just like because we wanted to look hot, just because. Who cares? Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
pretty
saw
much.
that floated around Twitter. Yeah, that was really cool.
there was another cat he did a redesign too that was he did the whole team. I think his name was Sick or something like that. Um, yeah, his was he did a whole background and wrote out a blurb for each one. Um, Marvel should hire that guy and fire a bunch of people. But we've been saying that for years now. So
I saw one guy do an amazing redesign of Safe Space that was like mostly just black, like black shapes.
yeah, I think that was that you? Was that you, Amron? Armoron?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
Yeah. You did
Yeah.
the mostly black safe space, right? The black.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Like
like
armor.
light brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. My finger is so far from the pulse in terms of anything online. I'm a total like misanthropic hermit digitally, and then I complain about why I don't have more uh, you know I guess more place in the industry. Whatever. I'm the one that like isolates myself, doesn't have any idea what's going on when I'm talking to the guy who's did the design that I actually thought was amazing. But yeah, that was fantastic. I was looking at that. It's just such a dissection of like minimalist, positive and negative space use.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think you lost people.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I just did it on a whim, really. Just messing around one day and thought, oh yeah, just draw something.
Are you from? Where are you from, Armoron?
Australia.
Australia. Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe Josh will show up. Josh Spencer. He might show up. We'll see.
The country where everything is out to kill you.
I wish I had Flit Amber here. I'm gonna send him a text in a DM because I want him to, if he can, be be in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm multitasking and I'm not doing a very good job of it. For those of you out in Webtown, as Crypto says. Yeah. Erodimus Flesh says I missed it. It was on the phone. And I was like, well, Erodimus, if you're listening, you do have the link, and you can always come in when you get some time. If you get here before like halfway point, I think you probably can get something done. But if not, next time we will have another one next week, and it'll be good. We've got 5 great artists on here right now. Fantastic. 2 new artists, and it's really nice to have new blood come in and contribute to the show. We get a lot of weird stuff going on in the world besides the woo. I guess I'm gonna have to refer to it as the woo because you say anything else, everybody gets freaked out over there at YouTube.
Like that. I mean, they did warn us. It wasn't nothing to f with.
Yeah, well, and so many people in the world now just you can't talk about stuff for some strange reason because heaven forbid you disseminate information. And here's the weird thing: like they're worried about fake news while they promote fake news at the same time.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
whatever. So I don't know what to say about that, but I do think it's funny that. Not funny. It's actually kind of sad. We're talking about the industry right now because of the woo. A lot of things are happening in economically speaking, and it's affecting comics quite a bit right now. For those who haven't been paying attention, Diamond has suspended people sending in their printing. So they would get something printed and send it to Diamond for distribution. So basically, there's not going to be any new comics come out, and because Diamond itself has a monopoly pretty much on the distribution of comics within the U.S. That means those of us who like comics are not going to get new comics until this whole thing is sorted out.
No, I think this is a huge place for creators, especially new creators, to thrive because people are going to be looking for new material. People are going to be looking for new, new artists, new creators, new stories. I think I'm using to describing this, and my take is like, wouldn't it be absolutely lovely if this was the thing that took down Diamond's like predatorial sort of authoritative distribution and let maybe a more healthy distribution channel rise up in its place?
Yeah, I would think, I would hope. I mean, it's not just Diamond in my opinion. I think it's the big two in conjunction with Diamond. They've controlled the market, the spigot essentially, and how things how the supply chain has worked for now. I pretty much 25 years.
A wild Fit Emmerich has appeared.
What?
A wild Fit
But Emmerich,
Emmerich has appeared.
Oh,
Dun, dun.
what are we talking about?
Fit Emmerich.
Flitz.
Oh, Flit is in the
Your
chat. What I said.
a wild
You know what I
Emmerich.
heard because of your
Emmerich.
accent, because of your wonderful, beautiful accent. Fit aberrant. That's what I was
Yeah.
like. What is he? Fit aberrant?
Flit Aberrant.
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 Flit amaranth.
Amaranth. Oh, bite me.
Flit is in the
Bite me, Jen.
chat. Fantastic. It's nice to have Flit in the chat because Flit. I don't ignore your chats, Flit. I'm gonna say hi to you, Flit. Just because you're being petulant, and I love you for your petulance. So yeah, we were talking about the Diamond issue right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the bill could very well be right. However, I mean it depends on how it affects the industry at large. If this crushes a bunch of stores because they don't have anything to put out there, or they're living on the edge in the first place, we may see a revolution, but and it may change the landscape of the industry at large. But
I think it's going to have to change it. I don't think it's a matter of it might. I mean, there's going to be casualties in terms of the retailers. There's going to be casualties in terms of the smaller stores. I can see the bigger casualties in those being the ones that dry hump the leg of the big two, though. Of course, there's going to be variables. There's going to be people that are really great stores that go under simply because the economy it just doesn't support it in this time of crisis or whatever you think of a manufactured crisis or just imagine whatever you think it is, it's affecting people. It's going to happen, but I think it's going to happen in ways to shake things up from like the carpet up. Like it's not just going to affect the smaller guys. It may affect them greater, but I think the passion for the craft is there in the digital age, and that's what's going to guide them to whatever it becomes out of it.
well, I think you're correct. I mean, there just has to be for those who make comics. I mean, generally speaking, doing floppies. I don't know if floppies are gonna be something that can last forever, though. Um, well, and they may, but the problem is you need to be able to consistently get a book out for people to keep it in their head space. If you don't do that, unless they really love your work, say like Joe Benitez, but Joe Benitez doesn't do floppies. He does graphic novels with Lady Mechanica, and that's just an example of how things would work. And I look and I wait. I'm subscribed to his email list and everything because I love his work. And anybody who I really like Brian Polito's work, I get all the notices for that, and I buy what I like. But floppies from the different publishers, and then the big two, and then I guess Image. They've kind of controlled through Diamond. Diamond used to have competition way back when, but that went
Yeah.
away by the mid '90s entirely. Nobody else does it, and if Diamond does get I don't know, destroyed is probably too big a word, but I mean, if they have their monopoly shooken up and the landscape does change, we're going to be in an volatile age for a while until something kind of fills the vacuum. As of yet, I don't think that's the case, though. But I don't think that
I'm I don't know. I'm really
Bill.
sorry about that. I hit the mic button. Maybe it's just where I'm at, but I'm more thinking about like I'm excited to see what the stuff that comes out online is, what the stuff that is um I what in a large way it's going to affect things in a negative way, but I think in a small way, in a creative way, in the sort of web comics that you see coming out online, I think you're going to see some really interesting creativity there. And
Well,
I think you're going to see people's stress and their fears and their anxieties and all that shit put out on the page.
well, I think you're right. I mean, just to use another example, Schlock Mercenary, which is like a web comic that's been going for a long time now, produced by a guy who lives in my town. He's what he did is he just kept doing his little strip, and then eventually the strip actually the way he does it, it creates a narrative, and he just keeps pumping them out every day. And over time, he's done volumes of books, and he lives pretty well on his fan base. But it's a consistency issue that he's been doing this now for over a decade to produce Schlock Mercenary in the manner that he can live off of it. And people like that may be able to do that if they can find their niche and they can find their audience. Truthfully, yeah. But then trying to get Schlock Mercenary, you can buy it on several different platforms, but it's not through Diamond, and so you rarely see Schlock Mercenary, say, in a comic shop, or for that matter, in like Barnes and Noble, which would be the basic brick and mortar that you would find anything now. And it's a weird time, but you can. Oh, by the way, I'd like to welcome Phil Connect, to the panel. Phil is another one of our regulars, and he's here. I don't see anything on his screen yet, but maybe he's figuring it out. Nice to have him here. Phil is a very capable artist. There's a long-standing rivalry between him and Illustrator Monk now. Illustrator Monk does not acknowledge that rivalry because he's a very quiet, he's like silent but deadly. Whereas Phil is he's very vocal about it. All right, let's see what we got in the chat. We got Ezra Caleb West. He made it, along with Flit, who called me out. Trusty Sidekick is here. Hey, Slick Jimmy came by to hit that like button before calling it a night. Oh, Trusty, you should stick around. But he probably has to sleep. That's fine. I'm looking at looks like that's Phil's big mitt right there. We're looking at excellent. Did I white box you? It's weird. All right. Then Flit says, LOL, YouTube is censoring comments. That's why you didn't know I was here sooner. Really? How? Really? I don't know if he's serious or not. It could be true. I mean, considering it is YouTube. YouTube is becoming as censorious as just about anything out there. Yeah. Censorious is what? What's that app that the Chinese uses for social media? You guys know what that's called?
TikTok.
Is it TikTok? No, they have one that's
Yeah.
like their version of like Twitter,
Oh, I know you're talking about.
YouTube.
Yeah. I can't remember the name though.
And that's it.
No, I remember that I saw TikTok is like cutting out people who are like ugly or people who are like handicapped or stuff like that. Just because they want the app to do better, they don't want them to make the app look bad by their deformed appearance.
So Ricky, what's his name?
I mean, it's China. It's
would
such
be
a
kicked off.
Ricky Berwick or whatever his name is.
Berwick. Yeah, I love that guy, man. That guy is an inspiration to me.
I like Crypt Daddy. Crypt Daddy's amazing.
Yeah, he's cool too. I like Ricky Berwick because the guy, he was dealt a pretty rough hand in life, and that guy has made it work. He's yeah. I mean, what can you say that's not good about it? The guy doesn't take anything really that serious, and he's in your face, and he's funny. He's a funny guy, so I like him. For those of you who don't know who Ricky Berwick is, go check him out on his YouTube. Subscribe, follow him on Twitter. Uh, Help that dude continue to do what he does because he's a good guy. And if I'd been born like that, I don't know if I'd have as good an attitude as he does. All right, now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 awesome artists on the panel tonight.
Pablo's here.
Pablo is here.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Oh, Pablo, you should be on here. What are you doing, man? Pablo, you have the link. Come on, you Argentinian crazy man with the '80s vibe. Yeah, I think Pablo's too big for us now though, because he's got all the fame of triggering the leftists about the look of his was it Captain Marvel that started the hullabaloo?
Yeah.
His minimally attired
You,
Captain Marvel.
you almost said triggering the Triggly Puffs.
Triggering the Triggly Puffs. This is true. Yeah. It's a sci-fi snob. What's weeaboo? Sci-fi snob. Weeaboo what? Weeaboo?
White Japanese weebs.
Yeah, I know, but he's like.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
weeaboo.
I was assuming you didn't know what it meant.
Flit says they're censoring my woo comments. Just use woo. Don't say the other word. Say woo because it's something they really can't. They can't really do that because woo means many different things. Yeah. Weeaboo is Chinese Twitter. Is that what it? Weeboo? Weeboo's Chinese Twitter. That's the thing that they use.
Oh, okay. I thought you said with the A, we get
Yeah.
woo.
Weeboo.
Okay.
He's right. It is that. I just know that there was one that they used that they use it kind of despotically to police their people, which is. Oh, Pablo says I'm working on a comic. Well, that's a likely story. That's probably true. Yeah. Because I need to finish it. Yes, you do. We want to see that comic, Pablo. So get on that, and then we'll buy it. And is it going to be sexy? Tell us if it's going to be sexy. Please let it be sexy. All right, let's go down the panel. All right, we have Armoron, looking pretty busty there.
Right. Yeah.
Very nice. She's also muscly. That's a muscly chick. She looks like she's also yeah. I'll leave it at there.
She's yawning.
Yeah, she's yawning. That's what she's doing. Exactly. She's got those very compromising when you yawn really bigly. Then we got a humble Marty. Lots of color there. Very surprised looking gargoyle girl. Yes, interesting. And humble likes the color. For those who haven't been to the Cheesecake Challenge before, she starts with color and she ends with lots of color, and we love that. Moving down to Illustrator Monk. Illustrator Monk he's got his pencils done. And it looks like he's already started on his inking, which is probably going to infuriate Phil. Just because
He's getting there.
very very cute. I like that pose. She seems to have
Very cheeky.
very cheeky. She's a cheeky monkey. Phil doesn't say a lot. I mean, not Phil, but our monk doesn't say a lot, but he says everything he needs to say on the paper. So then we have Phil. Phil's still working on the pencils because he got here late. Phil must have been having a late dinner or something. Who knows what's going on over there in the Midwest. And
Yeah, I wish it could be faster like that.
and then we got Daniel Vega, which he's got two. Oh, he might have to have extra points now that he has two Gargoyle girls. And yeah, it looks like they're having they're wrestling. Oh, cat, go away, cat. Get out of here.
Right on time.
Friggin' cat, he jumped over and I caught him in midair before he jumped on my keyboard. Friggin' cat. Yeah, stay over there by my foot. That's fine. Okay. Down the line to to our last entry, but not the least, is William, Big Bad Ankle Bill. William Blankenship, is that your full name?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to stay on, so I'm just sitting here sketching kind of just loosely. I wasn't sure what the parameters of the thing is. I was just, all right, what do you want me to draw?
Well, do as much as you can, and then we put it into a kind of a poll, and
Oh, okay, cool.
then we decide who wins out of whoever's in chat, and then you can also vote as well for yourself. We have 7 people in the chat. We just had 8. Somebody just dropped. Whoa, Sheldon Martin is in there. How many cats do we have? I have 3 cats. And then, well, we actually have 4 cats, but one cat just stays in the bathroom. She's lived her entire life. She's like 14 years old, and she doesn't want to leave the bathroom, so she lives underneath the sink, and then comes out when people visit to see what's going
Never
on.
heard of an introvert cat.
Oh, she's so introverted. You open the door and leave it open, and she kind of sticks her head out and then darts back in. Yeah, she comes out when she's hungry, and then, except for me, she likes me. She comes out and purrs for me, but yeah. The other cats are
Does
wandering
your
around
cat
the house.
actually sit on the toilet and poop?
No, but when I turn on the dryer, she loves to sit on the dryer when it's warm. So, yeah, that's her name's Ty because she's like half a Siamese, so I thought I'd give her, an Asian name. Yeah, I have 3 cats that are in the house. The one that just disrupted my flow was Tabernacle. He's a big, huge tabby, and he is very opinionated. And so when I kind of shoved him away, he was looking at me upset. But yeah, yeah. Sci-fi snob says sink cat. Amaranth says cat drink. Yeah. Pablo Romero says yay cat. All right. Ezra Caleb West. This is for you, Monk. Damn, Monk is a beast. So he's giving you props. Ezra Caleb West also says Hawkins Park heroes in the house. Duggalos. Okay then. Pablo Romero says, I was thinking about the Gargoyle show. You should think about it, and you should do a sexy gargoyle after you're done doing your comic book, of course, since
That's
that
what I'm
takes
doing right now.
precedence. But yeah, have fun. Oh, I've been white boxed on Bill, but that's not bad. It's turning out pretty good. Very perky looking gargoyle. Yes. So, Sci-Fi Snuff says 4 cats. That's 4 cats too many. I used to have a dog, but I haven't been able to get another dog because the last dog I had, when it died, it just about killed me. My Rottweiler. Yeah, my heart. I may look like a big goofy bastard, but I'm kind of a softie inside when it comes to my animals. Well, Amaranth says Demona. So one of these, I guess, looks like Demona. For those who don't know, Demona was the bad girl Gargoyle for a time, and then she kind of switched sides on the show Gargoyle, is done back in the 90s by, I believe that was Disney. Probably one of the best shows Disney's ever done. Extremely well written, exciting
Kind
to
of had
watch.
that character in mind, but like I just, I wasn't trying to do her specifically, but I had that a little bit in the back of my head drawing this
That's fine.
so
I mean,
far.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'm straight up drawing Demona.
Okay, well, I mean, like everybody thinks Demona when it comes to the gargoyles, but
Oh yeah.
you don't have to necessarily draw Demona, but have fun with
I
it.
just
I'm glad that you guys are just showing up to draw for the show because it's always a great. We still have 7 people in the chat. Let me check and see how many people have liked the show. Nobody's liked the show. Sad.
Really?
Yeah, not yet. They'll get a few. I'm trying to build this up
I think
slowly.
you need to refresh because it says 6 here, 7 now,
Okay, I will refresh. Let me look.
8 now.
I do need to refresh, apparently.
I'm gonna
One
share
moment.
it. I know I shared it last night.
8.
I'm gonna share that again.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Oh, 11. Good. Fantastic. I wasn't okay. One sec, I got a cough. I don't have the woo. I have residual of the flu, like 2 months afterwards. Ezra Caleb West says, Slick Jimmy, it is an inside joke between Eric Hawkins and the Underground Comics Gravestone Press crew. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. All right. Yeah. So, funnily enough, since I had the flu, like the first part of February, I've had a residual cough that has not gone away. And, since now we have the woo, people have, kind of look at you when you give a hard cough and they're worried about how close they stand to you. And then on top of that, the pollen has started to come out and I've started to sneeze. So I'm sneezing and coughing and I'm just fine.
Two things you don't want to do in public right now.
Yeah,
Right?
right now. It's kind of ridiculous because the cough is just basically a little tickle in the back of my throat and nothing else. It doesn't hurt or anything else. It just annoys. And, oh, geez. I was getting tires this morning and I felt like I had a cough. And so I went outside and I coughed. And then I'm looking into the window and the people, and they're all looking at me because I'm like coughing. Because I'd held off and they're all looking at me. I'm like, and then I come back and then they're still looking at me. I'm like, oh, you're fine. Not gonna give you the woo.
You should have done the Walking Dead.
That's right.
Scared of shitness.
Yeah, I got an interesting new client other than you there, Jimmy.
Uh-huh.
I think I got to tell you guys about this. Now, I did a lot of diaper fetish stuff in the past few years because it pays the bills. It's not my thing, but I got
but okay.
You and John Dillard.
it's some people's thing, especially the furry stuff. So I didn't really do a lot to promote it, but I'd let the dude tag me in it and stuff. And so I got a little bit of crossover, which makes my social media feeds really interesting. I see a lot of like big dong, furry muscle men with dad bellies and stuff like that. So I tried to get away from that a little bit. And right now I got a guy who's got somewhat of an objectification fetish, which is really broad, but specifically on the page that I'm working on, one girl in latex, very busty, very, fit girl in latex, turns another fit girl in latex into a balloon in a very weird science sort of way, and then deflates
Inflation?
her. Yeah, and then deflates
like
her down to a
Blumph.
balloon with just the head. And puts it to her, puts it balloon knot to balloon knot and reinflates it with her own gas. Kindly, and it is the greatest cartooning experiment I've ever done in my career so far. I say it is really challenging my skills in terms of being able to portray the absurd and bend shape and form in that 2D way. Absolutely lovely. I love my job.
Yeah, go check out when he posts that for all of you to see on wherever. Check it out.
If I was going to share it, I was like, oh yeah, I am definitely going to share this. This is going to be all over my Twitter feeds. I'm proud of this work.
Yeah, we need. I don't mind a little tiny bit of nudity on our show, here and there. It's not like, but I mean, the fetish stuff is probably a little bit too much for.
I wasn't going to bring up the page while I was sharing my screen. Don't worry.
Jimmy will be losing this page, and someone else will be starting.
Well, I have made this for not for children. It's been marked not for children, and it should be because we talk about stuff that it's a little more adult. We're adult people, so yeah. Let's look at the chat and see what we got going on. Flit Amaranth says, "Thank you, Russian bots. You're welcome." Everybody knows that my main artist on my comic, Whiskey Paint, he's a Russian bot. Everybody knows that. He's that Russian bot is an extremely good artist. It's strange. I don't know how that algorithm works actually. So, Sheldon Martin says they should call the Febreze. They should call you the Febreze brothers because it's so refreshing here. Dad joke, Sheldon. Sci-fi snob. I only cough in public when I go near someone. Yep, he's an edgelord that way. Flit Amaranth says dry cough is how it starts. Rip Jimmy. He has a little Saddy face crying emoji. Yep, I'm not long for this world. I really am not. I've only got about 30 years if I'm lucky. Okay. Flit Amaranth. Danny Vegas will take up the Cheesecake Challenge mantle when you're gone. Will you, Danny?
Sure.
Gonna run the channel. Okay.
Yeah.
Ezra says, "LOL, Flit Amaranth." He found that very funny. Very funny. It's not funny. Me dying. Okay. Eric Hawkins says, "Diaper fetish."
There's some out there that are very out there.
And then
Yeah.
Whenever I would get my reference, it was all buff guys on beds and diapers, and I had to learn all the terms. There's bunching. That's where it bunches up.
No, we don't need to know that. We don't need to know
Oh no,
that.
it's nothing. There's they like the creases, they like the tight creases, in there. That's kind of the sort of stuff they look for. I had to be schooled in this.
just as long as it's not drooping, if you know what I mean. Okay. Sci-Fi Snob says, "What the hell is diaper fetish? I am afraid to Google it." You should be. Especially if you like Google diaper fetish with the Bloomfing, and I don't know what would happen there. Probably there would be some implosion within your brain. Flit Amaranth, don't snob, don't. You better not. You're better off not knowing.
Oh, you
You're
can
better
find
off-
some of my work in it though. My work is beautiful. You want to see that kind of stuff?
I can see Flit Amaranth just shivering as he says that. The horror, the horror. Ezra Caleb West says, what he says, Sci-Fi Snob, don't you won't be able to, Ezra, type slower. Don't you won't able to be unseen it? I guess that. Pablo Romero art. Oh, Cat, you're back. Go away. Go away. Go.
Right on time.
Okay. Paul Romero says, "Did you ever did you ever breast? Do you ever did breast inspection? Do you ever do breast expansion?" I'm gonna give Pablo a bit of a pass because he is from South America and English is hard. Do you ever do breast expansion? There's been plenty of it. Ridiculous
I
breasts.
have. I have heard from clients. I'm like, you want me to do what?
Yeah.
How big?
Yeah. Where, basically it's like a little teeny girl with like planetoids beside them.
I know. I'm a dude.
Squishy planetoids that are squirting milk to put out the sun. That sort of shit. All right. Moving onward, Ezra Caleb West says, this perb saw it and wish he hadn't. I guess he went and looked up the diaper fetish. Sci-Fi Snob said, "Stop!" with a bunch of exclamation points, and then he muted. I guess whatever I was talking about, he muted. It was too much. Too much for his delicate sensibilities. But this is why you come to the Cheesecake Challenge, because we go into things that you would never expect. It's not like other drawing shows. It's not. It's not. Okay. That's another fetish.
I mean, because I have a client. He's into women with abs.
Women with abs and nothing
Yeah,
else.
the
Like
more
spaghetti
muscle
arms
better.
with like abs that can like put your eye out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and then there's quite a few that are into fembots, robots that are female, mind control. I'm listening to stuff because like this is stuff I've already.
Well,
all right.
fetish is there's weird fetishes out there, and some of them are funny, and others are just a little disturbing.
And if anyone has one that they're kind of ashamed of and they're worried about, but they want some real nice artwork made of it, just remember, Bad Uncle Bill on everything, badunclebill.com.
Yeah, Bad Uncle Bill. He'll do it for you. Him and John Dillard will do it for you. Those two will do whatever you want to
At the
visually
tech
see.
corner.
Never miss
I do it
a
too.
promote.
Okay, well, Danny Vegas will also do it.
I do not safe for work and safe for stuff.
I think you should get rid of Tech Corner and call yourself Danny Vegas. It's much cooler. All right. Eric Hawkins says, "I guess a diaper fetish is better than a scat fetish. Not it's pretty close in my opinion, but yeah, I would agree." Pablo Romero Art says, "I had a client that asked me to do some short sketch comics of a miniature girl being manipulated by a normal sized girl. I don't even okay, manipulated. That's a very broad, yeah,
Yeah,
verb.
we'll just leave it at that.
It's a very broad verb." Okay. Um, Ezra says, "I forgot the comma." Yes, you did forget the comma.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's some more crazy, more ones that, like where I
Out
would
there.
question. Oh yeah, where I would question your sanity.
There's the
Vor and
quicksand fetish. Have you guys seen the quicksand fetish?
I
the
haven't.
quicksand fish. Oh yeah.
That's one of the more interesting ones because it's not carnal at all. It's just people getting stuck in quicksand, and it really shows you there's a broad spectrum of humanity out there, and they're all fucking lovely.
I guess. Pablo Romero Art says, "Me no English very good." Yeah, you do all right, Pablo. We're all right with you. He also says vor fetish is pretty bad, and I have to admit, the stuff I've seen, I just move on. Left swipe.
Or overlaps with that large girl, tiny girl, or like large 50-foot woman syndrome kind of fetish stuff. That there's sort of an overlap there too.
I
I've done my
guess.
research, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, like the 50-foot woman one isn't bad. I think it's kind
Yeah.
of I have to admit that poster from the 50-foot woman has always been intriguing to me. So
I've done
There's a let's see.
that's the best part of Dude, Where's My Car? Is when the girl gets big and then you get an upskirt shot. That's the best part of that film. Yes, I'm a per. I'm admit it. Ezra Caleb West says Futa for the win. I disagree. I disavow. Unless you dig that thing, have at it.
There's like I said, there's a hypnotizing women with stopwatches, and this is like all sorts of just
Well, yeah.
like little sub fetishes
DeviantArt
of
is the
fetish
best
of
place
this
to
fetish
go
of
for
that
all this
fetish.
stuff.
What was that?
You know?
DeviantArt,
DVR. Yeah, they have a lot of.
yeah,
They keep it a
go
little.
on
They
there
keep
and
it a
everyone
little
asks you
tame
for
there on
commission for
that.
stuff like that.
They keep it fairly tame on what they can actually display. There are
Yeah.
other places that'll show a bit more, but I mean, yeah, that's your starting point, DeviantArt, and then you can go down those rabbit holes. Oh boy.
Yeah, I made a very very satanic satirical Mickey Mouse character called Monty Moneybags, and I did this one piece of him, and he had a big old black cock, and he's like come in ink, and I had the Mickey Mouse logo, the three dots logo in ink, where as jizz, and I'm like, I go taken down for bodily fluids, and I'm like, it's ink. They like it really, it's ink. Are we
Well,
completely and totally have no self awareness whenever it comes to these companies? Copyright law just pisses me off,
be,
and so does like the sort of it's the same thing as the sort of the oh where are her organs sort of
yeah.
cries online, and it's like I want to see all of it. I want to see this. I've retweeted some stuff that was like gay furry porn just because it was like, man, that is a really nicely drawn cock.
Oh
Like I
my
wish
gosh.
I cock that good. Like that is a pretty
Oh,
one.
you should have been born during. You should have been born during Roman times, so you could have made all the luck symbols above everybody's door. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Uh, I think you're tripping Marty out a little bit there, Bill.
That
Poor,
Yeah.
way? Um,
My whole life is real, man. I can't help it.
poor, poor,
that's
poor.
okay. I found out you can find some pretty kinky stuff in the vampire romance novels.
Oh well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
Nothing like supping
one person.
from the femoral artery.
That's part of the reason it can't really be taken seriously because, like, I've been married, I've seen what's in those romance novels. Nothing. It's the exact same thing as the visual cartooning of sexuality in language form is all it is.
Yep. Yeah.
True.
Well, Flit says some kinks should be shamed. Yeah, there are some kinks that should be shamed.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Uh,
my.
Ezra Caleb West. I already did that one. Sorry. I'm not going to repeat you, Caleb. I don't know, Ezra or Caleb. Which one do you prefer, or do you like to have it said every time? Ezra, Caleb, West. Sci-fi Snob says, "I think I am the man of the world. I think I am a man of the world, but I'm learning a lot tonight." Yes,
Oh,
it's a
I'm glad to
big,
hear your
Yes,
teacher,
you are,
darling.
sir.
it's a big, broad world out there, Snob. Very large. Cat, go away. Other cat. Other cat, go away. The tabby, like my other cat's, his name is Snaps. He comes in, and then Tabby Tabernacle just slaps him and tells him go away after I told him to go away. Uh, oh boy, my cats. Okay, Pablo Romero art. It was sexual, but not that sexual. Almost like a foot fetish. What was? What are we talking about? I think I got ahead of myself. What happened? What happened? I need to go back. I apologize. Okay.
We got lost in the fetish talk.
Yeah, Fuda Fuda is pretty tame by comparison. That Pablo says, and then Flit Amaranth says, if you commission Dillard, just don't expect your female character to have an attractive face. Okay. Uh, Pablo Romero art. Yeah, that's what I just read that, and then Sheldon says, "Ha ha, quicksand fetish?" Question mark. Ha ha. And Snob says, "Quicksand? Are they naked in the quicksand?"
No, they're not even
No.
naked. Some of them just got bikinis on. It's not about. It's all about the suction and the quicksand and them get. It's man. People are weird, bro. People are really out there, and I love like diving into these sort of the psychology of these things. It's
I'm.
really what makes life worth living for.
I remember. I remember a fetish I saw a while ago. It used to be on Comedy Central. They had a TV show about like weird stuff that's out there on the internet. um, and they showed like a German fetish that is basically a girl will be riding her bike, and she'll come
Mhm.
up to like a mud puddle, like just mud, and then she'll like fall into it, and then she just ends up like getting completely covered in mud and like dripping with mud, and then she just gets back on her bike and rides off, and you're just like, what the hell? What was that? But apparently, like that gets some people off, like getting dirty, like truly, and like dirty stuff gets them off. It's like,
Oh, have
okay,
you seen like these smokers cough dom fetish? Like these old kind of like 40-year-old really withered up like lifelong smokers sitting there smoking a cigarette and coughing, and there's like guys will be in the comment section being like, "Oh yeah, baby," and we're like they'll be like describing the sound of their cough. You're like, "Oh, that was a wet one."
oh
Like
boy, oh boy. I do remember another one where a girl, they'd have a girl get on, and this is mostly girls doing it, so obviously guys, maybe a lesbian, but they were
Mhm.
bouncing on big balloons, and then they'd bounce really hard, and they were waiting for the pop of the balloon, and the girl would fall on her ass. But it was the shock of the pop that was supposed to be the thing
Mhm.
that
yeah,
was
I'm familiar with that.
attractive.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah, that's my favorite.
there's splooshing, which that means you get some sort of pudding or something and you pour it in your pants. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So there's that. There's a whole bunch of. If you want to do deep dive on weird fetishes, boy, there's some weird ones out there.
Well, there's
Splishing is what I do.
You do splooshing? Oh no,
Yeah,
no, that's
yeah. I've done a
yeah,
little
that's my
solution in
favorite.
my day, but we always called it the mudslide. You know.
oh boy, this
no,
is
because I have a client that's he's into you all know the hustle wax,
like what, like
like
Madame
the Vincent Price
Tussauds,
Like
hustle
wax
wax.
dolls?
Yeah,
like Madame Tussauds.
like physically waxing women,
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh,
turn
Yeah,
them
just hair
into
physically,
waxing.
priceless statues. Like one does
okay.
not have actual wax works, but okay.
I guess. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, like again, that's another one of those weird things. Okay, I'm pretty vanilla. You know, I like a pretty girl with symmetry, good skin. You know, 3:7 ratio on the hips and boobs and
Mhm.
butt and nice lid. Yeah, and put them in some lingerie, schoolgirl outfit, cheerleader outfit, nurse outfit, cop outfit. Yeah, I'm a happy camper.
Well, we're gonna get along really well.
I mean, and,
Yeah, I prefer the vanilla stuff to all the weird stuff.
all the crazy shit. I mean, dick girls. I'm just like, I don't know about that. Like they have some like ridiculously huge boobs and ridiculously huge dick, and then like an ass that's like you can put your beer in between the butt cheeks and it'd hold it. You know, I guess if that's what you want. Mm.
Yeah, it's like,
I've never understood the
but
idea of having a cock on a man that if he turned around he'd be knocking the furniture over. I just
it's
Sometimes
whatever
you
pays the
get
bills. It's
surprise
like,
ones.
I mean, there are things I won't do, obviously, but
Well, I mean, yeah, there's certain
there's plenty
things.
of things I won't
Yeah,
do.
yeah, the torpedo stuff. No, stay away from that. Okay, where are we? Let's go back to the chat. Try to avoid as much of well, we'll do what we
Kinky
do.
talk.
Kinky talk. We're here for kinky talk. Sheldon Martin. Well, no, this is Split Amaranth. Damn, not even I have heard of quicksand fetish. Sheldon Martin says someone before they die in quicksand. Oh no, bit wait. I gotta rub one out real quick. The person's sinking into the. Uh, uh, and then
What an
Flitz goes.
enemy.
I mean, if you gotta go, go with a smile. This is, I guess. Ezra is talking to me specifically. Slick Jimmy speaks. So Futa is good in my book because he's bi. Okay. I see. I get it. All right. Well, if you're bi, I'm about as straight as they come. Emphasis on come. Okay. Moving on. Sci-fi snob. Futa Federal Unemployment Tax Act. Who gets off on that?
All that money saved.
That's right. Oh, taxes. Okay. Speaking of taxes, like I said, today was fairly unpleasant for me, but it is what
How
it is.
much?
It's a good thing I have some reserves. Let's just say that.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it was unpleasant. My accountant was apologizing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not the one apologizing tonight.
Yeah,
So.
Flit Amaranth says you'd be surprised, snob, about crazy shit, I suppose. And then he also says, "Ooh yeah, girl, claim that deduction."
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with like the concerns about the industry and the concerns about where people are going to be with all this whenever it comes to like the art fields. I think a friend of mine who's a little more, she's a little more occult. She's like a pagan high priestess. She told me once, she was like, "Oh, everything's about to slip back over into like the real artists are going to stick around, and all the chaff that's flooded the internet in the early digital era that like just thought they could be artists and thought they were up for the job, and undercut real artists with like, hey, $25 commissions, you know, the that stuff." I think the maybe the best thing that might do is wipe out some of that low level like playground artist bullshit, and and
Ouch.
and the people who are really committed to the craft itself are the people who are going to survive it because they're never going to stop doing it and they're always going to find a way to monetize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It might not. They might not be their only living. They might have to get a second job. You might have artists that have been working on doing that by like that alone for a while. They might have to get a second job doing something else. But it's. I think that a lot of people you're going to really see who's in it for craft and who is in it because of whatever reasons people think they want to get into the creative creative kind of arts.
nice. Yes, that's totally.
Mhm.
We have another
Mhm.
artist in the chat. Josh Spencer has showed up. Josh,
Oh
are you
yeah,
there?
I am here.
Are you able to share
Hello.
your screen? Are you going to do some art for us? Even though you're about halfway through, you can. I know you're quick. You're quick.
Sometimes I'm quick.
Well,
Um, yeah, I totally forgot it was on today because I have a deadline. I'm just working along, and I look at my messages. And I'm like, oh my god.
well, if you want to jump in and do some art, that'd be great. Otherwise, I don't mind having you here. You are a good
I'll
friend.
just
So,
I'll just join you in talking.
all right,
Maybe.
well, that's fine. If you do have a deadline, that's fine too, because I mean I understand that things.
Yeah.
Josh is a working artist, and he has Spencer Tunes. So for everybody out there who hasn't heard of Josh, go out and see his fun and sexy stuff
Mm-hmm.
that he does. He has a kind of a cartoony style that is very appealing. Going back to the chat, the cat drinking game was a mistake. I've only said two things about the cat today, but I guess that's three. But yeah, every time he jumps in, he take a drink if you feel so inclined. You take a little nip, a little cat
You
nip.
know you're gonna lose that trade, man.
What was it?
What
Yeah.
were you thinking?
I'm gonna lose what?
Well, earlier.
No, that whoever had this drinking game was gonna lose that because
Yeah,
that cat was
probably.
guaranteed to come in
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, I mean,
mess with
it's
you.
not that all the time. I mean, if it was like every 5 minutes or so, you probably get fairly drunk by the end of the show. But I've only had, yeah, three. It was three drop-ins. One from one, and then two from the other. And the other one's still sleeping down there by my feet. He figured it out. All right. Where are we at? Sheldon Martin says, "Ever listen to the band Better Than Ezra?" I think he's talking to Ezra Caleb's West. And Ezra Caleb West says, "Nope." Sheldon Martin, what kind of music they play? That's something I'm not worried about. For some reason, Ezra Caleb West says pegging. Oh, okay.
That's a fetish.
That's
That's a
pretty
fetish.
mainstream. That's
I'm not
pretty
sure if
mainstream, though.
Ezra. Well, he's got like a little demon face, so maybe Ezra's into the whole pegging thing. I don't know. Maybe. Flit Amaranth says, "I think everyone in BreadTube is into that." Ezra. Okay. Eric
Right
Hawkins.
too.
Oh, what happened to the good old simple days of just donkey punching, dirty Sanchez's, or pegging? Sheesh, the world is getting weird. You guys want to go look up what are those? Then you have my carte blanche to go do. So, you know,
I know we're trying to curb some of the kinkier talk, but it is everybody's interest to look up the sex terms by Patrice O'Neill. I can't remember what show it was on, but if you look it up on YouTube, you'll find where they just rapid fire off all these joke sex terms, like, hey, you ever do the Spider-Man yells when you come on your hand and fling it around, like. Like, but he just runs through a series of them, and it's one of the funniest bits you'll ever hear.
it is a. I've heard that one, and it is. There's some weird stuff out in the world. Holy cow. Yeah. Sheldon Martin says, "I think it was just like '80s rock." I'm referring to Better than Ezra. I never really got into them. Cool name though.
Page.
Snob says to me, Chick Slick Jimmy confirms that he is boring. Yes, I am boring. I just know how to give a woman an orgasm. So it's just one of those things that I'm very
Hey,
boring
Jimmy,
at. What?
how come? Do you know why this isn't showing up in the subscriptions feed?
I don't know. I did set a schedule, and it was on Slick Jimmy Speaks. I don't know.
No, it's on your. If you go to your channel, it's there. But when I go to my subscriptions tab, it's not there. So
I have
It's
no
who
too
idea,
bad.
knows?
dude. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to talk to somebody like that knows what's going on. I try to do stuff,
I
and
don't know. I don't know YouTube.
YouTube
It's probably
and
YouTube.
YouTube keeps changing shit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about that. You know. But I mean, I'm glad we
Yeah.
have 7 wonderful artists here, 6 who are actually making arts for us, and it's great. I appreciate it. Yes, I am. I am boring, snob. I'm sorry. I am. Um,
So is this you got your inspiration? What gave you inspiration this week, Jim,
oh, I was.
to make the theme?
I saw a couple of pictures of that people were reminiscing about Gargoyles, about how good a show it was, and I agreed. I used to catch it all the time, and it made me think in my head. I want to go and buy the seasons and get the whole show. And you know, I thought it would be interesting because getting caught in a compromising situation and being turned to stone for like the daytime, and there you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there talk about a fetish. There you go.
It's on Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I'll have to go
Yeah.
look it up. Most of the stuff on Disney Plus makes me feel like I'm I'm like 2 years old, because the stuff is just
Yeah.
most.
Well, I after Mandalorian finished, I stopped my subscription.
Well, I got mine
Um,
for free
I
for
did
a
the
year
exact
from
same
Verizon,
thing.
so it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. BreadTube, apparently, according to Flit Amaranth. Oh, Flit did also say, check out Slick Jimmy's fetishes in Little Girl Lethal and Indiegogo. There you go. Uh, Flit Amaranth. BreadTube equals leftist YouTube. And I will take your word for it because I've never actually been to whatever BreadTube is. Uh, Flit Amaranth also says, for some reason, they're all into that kind of stuff. Okay, I'll take your word for it again. Ezra says, he does. Slick is vanilla. He does. He does. Slit. Like Ezra, slow your typing down just a little bit. All right. Ezra also says, Flit Amaranth, maybe so. I am an outlier, as I am a minarchist, libertarian, nationalist, not leftist. Minarchist, libertarian, nationalist. Anybody have anything to say on that?
I'm not sure what the hell that means.
I know what libertarian and
That's a
nationalists are, but
mouthful of labor.
minarchist, I'm gonna have to look up. I've never
I'm assuming minarchist is like
It means
minimal
not total
government.
arcany.
not
Yeah,
told.
yeah, minimal government, minimal interjection by the government, sort of thing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I would just assume that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, good. At least
sort
somebody
of a
knows.
libertarian, a little bit further extreme than libertarian, I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm a libertarian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pablo
I'm an
Romero Art
American.
says
So, okay.
Guro is the worst. Yeah, Guro is pretty terrible.
yeah.
Uh,
Agreed.
um, in fact, every time I've even seen that in passing, I'm like, ah.
Eek. Weekend.
Yeah, egads, exactly. Ezra says, some talented artists on the panel today. Indeed, we do have great talent. I've been kind of, we've been talking
Well,
about,
I've just got here, so
you said decided to join. We got, we got Josh to join with less than halftime remaining. He's gonna have to hurry. He's gonna have to
I'm
hustle.
gonna see how he is here.
We're gonna have to see if a fat white man can jump. There we go.
oh my god.
Hey, I'm a fat white man. I can say it. All right. Flit Amaranth says, this may be the greatest show of all time. It is indeed the greatest show of all time, and Flit Amaranth is the greatest moderator of all time. Flit also says, Ezra had to look up minarchist. Interesting. Indeed. And Ezra says, you are correct. I guess that's the greatest show of all time. And then Flit says, finally, is Spencer in? He is in. I'm adding him to the poll regardless, so he better step it up. Yep. And
Oh,
oh,
oh dang.
so if you have the woo,
Oh,
fight through it. Okay,
if I have the win.
the woo. So everybody's been saying these other things that are identifiable by YouTube to give you shit about that. And I've been swearing, so probably doesn't fucking
Oh,
matter anyway. But
woohoo.
but woo, got the woohoo.
The
Uh,
woo!
yeah, it's woo. Yeah. So we got, let's see, 7 artists on the panel tonight. Fantastic. And I don't have any co-hosts. I don't know where Matt went tonight. He probably is. He was Matt. Matt is Cryptocomics, and Cryptocomics has been typing up a storm. He's attempting to create whole cloth in a very short amount of time, an entire comic universe, which I think is actually very ambitious, but also kind of cool. So let's go down the panel. Look at what we got. Starting with Armoron. Oh, very nice, very nice. We got definitely that is Demona, and she has been caught in a compromising position as I acts. And going over to Marty, still things are she's kind of laying out things here.
Nothing like losing close to be caught in this precarious situation.
Yep, definitely
Need to work on the hair.
a little
Looks
bit.
too Karen-y.
That's all right. Do what you need to do. Too Karen-y. We don't want a Karen on a paddle, except for like maybe Karen Strawn. I dig Karen Strawn, even though she looks like a boy. Going over to Illustrator Monk. Monk has pretty much done most of his inking. It looks like he's getting down to the end there, and then we'll probably see if he's going to add some color. Monk is good with color or without. Over to Phil. Phil Connect. He's done a very. I'm digging, dude. I'm actually digging this one. Very nice.
Oh, you're actually digging it?
No, you
Actually?
know
He's
what
not
I
pretending
mean.
to.
You know what I mean.
Actually,
Calm down.
I'm actually digging it this
Calm
time. Russ
down.
sucks.
Calm down.
I dig it.
No, see,
I
you can't
always
read it
dig
that
it.
way. He might have been saying the rest of the ones he's seen so far are garbage, but this one he's actually digging.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
And I appreciate your honesty.
It could be interpreted in many ways. Yeah, I'm actually liking the big wings. I love big wings on a gargoyle. Not to say that Monk's little wings aren't cute as a Dickens. The big Dickens.
We found Tim's fetish.
Yeah, that's
Wings
right.
on
Going over
wings on wieners.
to Spencer, he's trying.
Phil.
He's playing catch up ball right now. He's playing catch up ball, but he's doing it. He's doing it and doing it and doing it good. Moving on over to Danny Vegas. Danny Vegas, I can only see a portion of what it is, but I assume the rest. Oh, there we go. Hello, hello. Caught in a very compromising position. Two gargoyle girls, and hopefully they weren't on the front lawn, you know, as a fountain. Or maybe that would be good. Over to Bad Ankle Bill. This one's, yeah, she's definitely caught in a very compromising position. There you go.
Yeah, I got like 6% battery life left on my laptop, so I'm gonna have to head off here soon. But wanted to add a little bit of highlight of the sun coming up just to show get across what was going on. I really appreciate you guys having me on tonight, though. Um, and hey, Slick, get back to me in the DMs about the revisions. Let me know what's up.
All right.
All right,
If you
all right.
want to drop this in the cheesecake, if you want to finish up or whatever you want to do with it, drop it in the cheesecake challenge so I can post it later.
All right, excellent, excellent.
And then I'll put it out there for everybody to see what was put together tonight.
All right,
Nice to have
thank
you
you,
show
thank
up.
you.
I'm sorry about that. You're running out of battery.
Oh, no
This was
problem, no
good, Bill.
problem. You guys all have a
Good,
good
good
night,
work.
having fun chat. I'm glad to be a part of it. And as always, much love and infinite mojo to you and super profundo on the early eve of your day.
All right. Take care, Bill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There.
All right, there goes Bill. Big Bad Ankle Bill. William
Looks
Blankenship.
good.
Yeah, that was pretty cool looking. I liked what he was doing. I wish he could finish it, but it is what it is. Sometimes technology is not going to cooperate, and
It is what it is.
it
Looks
is what it
harmless
is.
now.
We have two Australians on the panel tonight, our Armoron
Yeah.
and Josh Spencer. Are you both on the East Coast or the West Coast, or
East
in the
Coast.
middle?
This is the state of origin rivalry right now.
Oh, I see. Then someday we'll get like an Australian, like straight out of the outback with like a big satellite dish coming to us. Be like, why are you out living out there? And he goes, when I'm not drawing things, I'm digging for opals.
I dig for apples all the time.
Hey, you guys have a lot of them over there.
It's better than digging for uranium, I guess.
Digging through Uranus or uranium.
We've got a lot of uranium.
We have 8 people in the chat currently. Let's see how many people like. So 11 likes still. Nice. If anybody wants to like, appreciate that. That's all right. Let's go back to the chat, see what the chat says. This says that I'm offline. I'm not offline. What are you talking about? Stupid
Back to
thing.
the chat, see what the chat says.
Sorry, there we go.
I hope that you're actually recording this, Jim.
I am recording. This is live.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Yeah, that would be really good, though. I get done with it and, like, we didn't record anything. That would be...
Well, this wasn't actually going to get live.
That's me responding to that. Let's see what we have in the chat. Let's see.
That was
Hey there, Angel.
Okay. Flute Amaranth says, "Is Spencer in?" Yes. Okay. Sheldon Martin says, "What's after Little Girl Lethal Part 2 or a different project?" No. I have what's called Episode 2, which is part of currently 6 parts or 6 episodes that would make up the entire saga. If you were wondering, I do have other characters that I'm planning on coming up with scripts for, and I would employ other artists if I could afford it. And then, there has to be money to do that. So, if that's your question there, Sheldon. But yeah,
And plus, we got to figure out a way to monetize this Monarch project or a Primarch project.
yeah, I don't know if that's possible, man. Since licensing and all that and copyright. I think I think Games Workshop would have a bit to say if I tried to make money off of it. For those who are wondering what Phil is talking about, I'm just as something to do for fun. I want those of you who understand Warhammer, and I'm not going to go into real detail. I don't want to chase people away because Warhammer is kind of niche, but Warhammer has huge lore. And part of the lore is that there are 20 Primarchs, the sons, essentially, of the God Emperor of mankind. And he's the guy who runs the Imperium, or, tried to run. Now he's stuck on the Golden Throne. And the entire galaxy is full of war and craziness because in the grim darkness of the future, there is only war. That's Warhammer. But there were but there were 21 Primarchs, and 2 of them are stricken from the histories of the Imperium by the Emperor, and so everybody wonders what happened to them. And so I'm going to write a pastiche, which essentially is a fancy word for saying fanfic, about what happened, what was the reasoning and where they went, and so I have a pretty dense story to fit in as best I can with the lore, and something I have fun with. But I got to, it's something I would drop into when I kind of bogged down with sugar stuff. Cat, go away. There's another drink for you. Yeah. So there you go. That's what Phil's talking about. And I explained my story last night to Phil, and he seems to think it's not too bad. So we'll see. Let us move on to the chat. Where are we going here? Let's see. Ezra Caleb West says, the woo, I see. I said it. He said it in the chat. I'm not going to say it online. YouTube, resist the woo allure. I'm even using my euphemism for what he said because I'm not gonna play your game, Ezra. I'm not gonna do that. Flit Amaranth says big wings. Flit Amaranth says big wings equal okay, but just say no to head wings. Yeah, well, that's the very head wings. Head wings are like ankle wings. I mean, does anybody understand how an ankle wing would make you fly unless they're super magic? Because, I can see that for Mercury, but with Namorita or Namor, how do they make him fly?
Isn't that magic?
No, they're Namorita and Namor are both mutants, so but they have little wings on their ankles, so this is weird.
Yeah, but I think is that actually what makes them fly? Like if you cut it off, they couldn't fly.
I don't know.
I was always under the impression that they were mutants.
Yeah, they
And
are.
that the wings
Yeah,
were
I was
just
like,
some kind of.
yeah, they could just fly, and the wings are like.
I was under the impression they're like, how fish have fins?
Yeah, but I mean, they look like wings. They're feathered wings.
Yeah, but I don't think they flap their wings to fly.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Could you imagine if they were flapping little baby ankle wings and they were flying around as fast as they do?
Yeah, they're like wings of a hummingbird. There's
Yeah, I mean they'd be insane.
Yep, they would.
And you think Angel would be pissed? Angel would be like, "How in the hell did I get stuck with these stupid things?"
Exactly.
And you assholes get these sweet little ankle things.
I've always been kind of sad about Angel. I mean, he's a good-looking guy until he was made into Archangel, and then he looks different. But originally, what were his powers other than the fact he had wings and could fly?
He could see really far, and he could fly, and he had hollow bones.
So basically, he was like he'd shatter if he got hit. I mean, oh boy.
No, hollow bones are super super bendy.
Okay.
Um, um, they're just as strong as normal as far as I know if you size them up, but they're super flexible.
He's like bird person.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, there really wasn't anything to him. That was why Archangel made him really cool.
yeah. They gave him a lot more to him. But he's not as pretty.
Yeah,
Okay.
because when they switched over and they were doing um, X Factor didn't really have any didn't have a character on it that was kind of savage, whereas the X Men had Wolverine.
Yeah.
And so when they finally committed to doing what they were going to do with Archangel, that was their way that they could have arguably the silliest character out of the original team suddenly turn into a badass.
Into a horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a good call because he did seem like. I think you could have done some cooler things with Angel, like to evolve him more, but they didn't do that. Decided to go another way. Sheldon Martin says a girl needs big wings. What the hell is that? Some sort of sick fetish? Yes, it is, Sheldon. Yeah.
Welcome to the Cheesecake.
Welcome to the Cheesecake Challenge. Where have you
Cheesecake
been?
Challenge. Welcome to the Cheesecake Challenge.
That's right. Foot Amaranth says YouTube centers Koof. I blame Koof. I blame Medicor. Who's this Medicor you speak of? Yeah. And then he also says Australian shit posters rise up. So, yeah. Oh, Lorenzo Sleeslack is in the house. He says hi to me, and he's greeted in kind. Ezra also says Lorenzo, the Duggalos. All right. There was a lot of greeting and so forth for Lorenzo. Lorenzo does say, "Who is on the panel? Did someone say hi to me?" Apparently, they did. Uh, Pablo
Probably me.
Pablo Romero says, "Little Girl Lethal Episode 2: Attack of the Clones." Well, now that you speak of it, there is a thing about sugar that I haven't explored or told anybody about.
An evil, sexy twin?
Well, here's the thing: like when she was messing around with the machine very first, what it did is it opened a gateway to multiple realities, and made copies of literally thousands of sugars and different types of sugars, and now they live in a pocket dimension inside her head. It's really weird.
Oh, kind of like that one SpongeBob episode.
Yeah, that one time, yeah. So when she lets those out in the future, when after this happens, she discovers what had happened with this little mishap with the machine. She can draw out like an army of sugars who all look different. They all have a different way of comporting themselves. Will I ever do this in the comic? I don't know. That seems like a lot. So.
Yeah, it's like who gets to draw that?
Yeah, like I mean, I don't want to destroy some artist's mind. You know, I just don't. So it may just be, may just keep it in like the book whenever ever that gets released, the actual novelization. So yeah, just something for you guys to chew on in your mental canon. So there you go. Where are we going now? Lorenzo C. Stack. Who are all on the panel? Did someone? Oh, I just read that droop. Let's go through the panel. So for Zoe, who is having a hard time figuring out who it was, we lost Bad Uncle Bill. He was our seventh. He had to go because his computer was losing its juice. We have Armor on, who's from Down Under, just like Josh Spencer, doing a beautiful bustage right here. And then we're going to go over to Humble Marty, who everybody is well aware, who's with the Cheesecake Challenge. This is very, very different looking for a gargoyle. She's going with feathers instead of the bat wings. Very nice, very nice. And then we're going over to our friend Illustrator Monk with the cute little girl caught in kind of a presenting pose, it seems. Yeah. And a little gargoyle there. Then we have Phil Connect. He's got the beautiful gargoyle with the big broad wings. Very nice, very nice. Going down to Josh Spencer, who came in late. He's scrambling. Yeah,
Trembling.
looks like Desdemona right
Scribbling.
there, and that's very nice. And then we got Daniel Tech Vega, who decided to do double. So you might have to take that into consideration. Daniel did do two, and they don't look like elves for the most part.
Thanks.
Very nice. I should probably take Daniel off white box. There we go. That's our panel right now. The 6 that remain. Beautiful, fantastic. Someday we'll get Pablo Romero back on the panel when
That'd
he
be
gets done
nice.
with his comic book. That's his excuse tonight. Caleb Ezra Russ says 3 of the best Australian bands are King Parrot, Rust, and Destroyer 66. So for those of you who want to go check,
I
the
haven't
best
heard of either. Any of
the
them.
best Australian band
Yeah.
is an obvious one. The best Australian band is AC/DC. Make a note of it. Okay, Flit Amaran, do a Warhammer stream. Do it. Here's the thing. Like Phil's going to start up a podcast / stream, and he's going to have me on. We may be talking about Warhammer. I think. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things that I definitely want to hit up is I want to get into gaming territory. You talk about D&D, talk about Warhammer, talk about talk about lore. Really, just talk about storytelling.
Yeah.
Visual and narrative, all that kind of stuff.
I would do a Warhammer stream on the regular because this is a weird thing. Like I'm at 48, I discovered Warhammer. I'd been 48 years without knowledge of Warhammer. I'm not a big gamer. I don't do the tabletop gaming thing a whole lot. But what drew me to Warhammer is the deep lore, which is as deep as any other franchise out there. In fact, I would say deeper, richer, and frankly just crazier than any other franchise and universe out there. It's friggin' Warhammer 40K. And that's what drew me. It's the grim darkness of it, the utter horror of the far flung future that they've envisioned, and I
Did you get
over
into D&D lore at all?
a little bit. I've been playing D&D, so I've kind of been forced into it. When I was younger, I read a bunch of D&D books, and but not as much. I used to play when I was younger, and then I kind of discovered girls, and that was that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but of late, I've
Tends
been
to happen.
playing with a group of full-on adults, and we play adult games, and then I'm allowed to have
Adult games.
adult games is in
Adult
mature
games.
themes as opposed to
Yeah.
swinger parties.
Right.
But we've been playing that game on Chester Busby's channel, Bugbear's Basement. We just got finished with one campaign and started another. That's actually kind of fun. But Warhammer for me is not so much the gaming aspect of it as the storytelling of this such. I mean, the story of Warhammer goes across like 30,000 years, even farther back if you want to take the God Emperor's whole story back before prehistory. And then like the story of the entire galaxy goes back 60 million years, and so there's all this other stuff going on with the other races. And it makes me it intrigues me. I know that there's quite a bit of lore with like Star Wars, the expanded universe, which has been effectively stopped, which is very sad in my opinion.
Remember.
And then what's happened to like Star Trek? There is a lot of lore there, but they keep retconning stuff in Star Trek now, and the new
There's lore and
retcon.
there's also data.
Yes, there's lore and data. Exactly. So yeah, I'm going off on a little tangent here, but it's one of those things that intrigues me no end. So I would do a stream about Warhammer, but there's already a whole bunch of content creators out there doing lore. I would just be riffing on stuff and conjecture as opposed to anything.
Yeah, that's always kind of my thing when it comes to 40K lore, is because you have guys like Luton, you have guys like Oculus, you have guys that are out there that are so steeped in this stuff that talking about it is risky. You know, like
Yeah.
if you're not 100% sure, then keep your damn mouth shut because somebody's going to go, no, you're dumb,
Yeah. So
and then you have to sit there and cry.
if you're talking, you have to put the caveat on it that you're just, you're supposizing. You're not really defining the lore as it's been written because there's so many, in the different versions of it, and then all these guys are already doing it. They are the lore masters, and if you want to go find out stuff and learn, educate yourself, then they're the guys to go to. It wouldn't be me. I'd just be sitting there talking about it and having fun with it. And there's a whole other side to Warhammer as well with like the miniatures and stuff, which is, I mean, some people don't even play the games; they just collect the miniatures, and because they're kind of cool, or they
I do
create
that.
their own miniatures. So yeah, it's one of those
That
things.
was neat.
Let's move back to the chat for one thing. Yeah, Flit says do the stream, and then Ezra says Warhammer 40k is awesome, and I have to concur. Warhammer 40k is one of the most enjoyable discoveries of my later life. It really is. It's given me so much to go delve into and learn about, and so yeah. If you ever want to have fun, if you want to see how a universe is created, go delve into it and check it out and read the Black Library, or at
I
least
think my
listen to it.
favorites are the Space Marines and the Eldar, the Dark
Yeah,
Eldar.
I like the Dark Elder. Yeah, Dark Elder is my jam because they're
Yeah. They
so,
look the most badass.
yeah,
Because they're hedonists.
well, they're what they're totally hedonists. They're the worst of the worst, except I guess if you're getting into actually into the chaos realm.
Well, they also remind me of like Dark Elves and stuff as well.
Well, yeah, they're Warhammer 40k's Dro. So
The
um,
Drow, yeah.
um, moving onward, let's see. Sheldon Martin pastiche takes a lot of panache. Yes, it does to do it right, because a lot of fanfic is drivel. The good fanfic is awesome if you can find it. Um, um, the best fanfic is as good sometimes as or better than the original stuff, in my opinion. But it's not. It's few and far between. It's like that. Um, Snob says, "Is that official Warhammer 40k stuff, or just on your own?" Oh, I wish that Games Workshop would
God, could you imagine
yeah.
if they just gave you carte blanche to run with the two lost Primarchs?
Oh, geez, that would be
That would be
awesome.
insane.
But that's not likely. First of all, I'm not British, and it seems like most of their writers are British, most of them, because Games Workshop is from Britain initially, and I can see how they take pride in it. I really do. Lorenzo says, I'm a little surprised to see you don't have a YouTube channel, Ezra Caleb West. Yeah, Ezra, you need to get on that. Sheldon Martin says Namor backwards is Roman, which means winged foot traveler underwater. Oh, okay, well, there you go. There you go. Fantastic. Flit says Namor's ankle wings are stupid don't make sense. There, I said it. Now, I tend to agree. It doesn't make any sense that you would have an avian wing for an aquatic creature that both Namor and Namorita are. It
It's
seems
just the look,
odd.
isn't it? Like
Well,
it's
it just
because
seems
it
odd.
looks like Mercury.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Mercury. You would think he'd be more like Neptune or something like that, but I don't know. It's a strange add-on that's just kind of persisted through the years, and fine, it's just
Mm-hmm.
Namor. Namor's kind of an asshole now, though, but and he's always been kind of an asshole, but he's really become an asshole now. He's more of a villain now. I mean, he's kind of vacillated between that through the years, but he's definitely not hanging with the Avengers anymore. Um, Sheldon Martin says if someone slices off one of his ankle wings, he'd only fly in circles. this this is
Yeah, it's a
possible.
rudder, right?
Yeah. Ezra says,
This Sheldon's going to be a troublemaker again this week, isn't he?
yeah, he is. He's stirring up shit. He's a shit stir.
He's a
Uh,
troublemaker.
a troublemaker. Ezra says,
I'm
I
surprised.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm surprised he wasn't here when we started talking about all that fetish stuff.
Yeah, well, I
Or
think he
he was,
was.
and
I
he's just
think he
laughing in the
was. I just
background.
think he was skeeved out. or he was horny and was fapping in the corner. I don't know, one of the two.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Uh, Ezra says, I just have to move and get my new computer rig. I am commissioning art from 6th Scale Combat and music from Doug Garrett for it. Wow, cool. Right on, man. Flit Amaranth says, are clones hotter than twins? Discuss. Twins are clones. I mean, that's exact. They're
Technically.
technically they're clones. And identical twins, not fraternal twins. But yeah, are twins harder than clones? I would assume that if you could stamp clones over and over and over, that actually most people don't know this that twins all have differences. They're not, even though they have the same DNA, they do have slight differences. So they're not exact carbon copies of each other. So uh, you know, take that for what you will.
You be the judge.
Sci-Fi Snob says, "Don't spoil it." Maybe he's talking about Little Girl Lethal. I'm not spoiling anything. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. You have no idea. Nobody knows. Just me. Lorenzo Sleestack says, I just followed you, Ezra. Oh, he follows him, and you stalker. Yeah. Pablo Ramirez says, clones are hotter. So Pablo's in the clone corner instead of the twins corner. He wants to make stamps of his favorite supermodels and keep copies in the closet. Sheldon Martin says that's a lot of sugar in her head. Sugar packets. Yes, she calls it the pussy posse. So there you go. Just saying. Sheldon Martin, I think clones are hotter. Oh, there's two in the clone camp. Yeah. And then Pablo Moreno said, "I'll be back." I guess he's referring, he'll be back on the channel, or he's turning into the Terminator.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. I am your Argentinian Terminator. Actually, to Argentinians, the Argentinian accent for me sounds like Spanish with an Italian accent. That's what it sounds like when I hear him speak it. All right, that was inside that nobody really cared
Cool.
about. Yeah, cool.
Thanks, Jim.
Snob says no elves. Unsub. No elves. Yes, no elves. Remember that. No elves on the channel until we tell you to, Danny.
All right.
Snob says, I would listen to a Warhammer 40k lore stream. Okay. You should go look up the other Warhammer actual lore streams that are much more in depth than anything I could possibly do. Like I said, we would just be shit talking about it because it's a topic that if you want to do it properly and disseminate information, it gets really, you have to do your research. It's not something you can easily tackle. Flint Amaranth says, kick elves, invite orcs and goblins. I agree. And tieflings. I love tieflings. All right. Sheldon Martin, orcs with wings, goblins in quicksand with diapers and taxes. Oh my gosh, that is one heck of a fetish. Okay. Flit says, adult games, quote unquote. Yeah, this is true. Pablo says mature themes equal porn. No, they don't. Mature themes equal mature things. There are things that you talk about normally that you wouldn't talk about with children because they'd just be like, what are they talking about? Mature themes. You can take that as you will. Some of it could be pornographic, or they could just be erotic, which I delineate between the two. Erotic and porn are different things. It's how it's couched and how it's lit. Yeah. Flint Emmerich says, poor Star Trek. I agree. Poor Star Trek. May you rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Yeah, seriously, man. What happened? What happened? Ezra says, disavow 5th edition D&D. Only old school D&D rules. I give Chester Busby over it. Okay. Yeah, well, we use 5th edition, but we kind of modify it. I mean, every edition has some different things to it. When I was a kid, I used to play 2nd, just turned 2nd. Yeah, but like it was so
What
dense.
don't you like about fifth edition?
What doesn't Ezra? I don't know. I mean, there are some things that are they've kind of nerfed a bunch of stuff, but
It's a lot simpler, but I don't know. I
it
don't
is
mind it.
it is simpler. But they've kind of curtailed how you can do things. I like the fact that back in the day you could become a god with like deities and demigods, and you could go into that realm, and it would go up 25th to 30th level. I like that. That was, I mean, talk to Phil. Phil's much more in depth on that than I am, because I just started playing just recently in the last
Mm.
year or so. Since when I was a kid, like I said, I discovered how to woo the girls and get them to hang out with me, and that's pretty much.
It's not that fifth edition is bad. It's that fifth edition has been fifth edition is counterintuitive for the third edition players who are used to having a lot of um, crunch in their games. And when you have a game that comes out that is kind of its sole purpose is to streamline everything, the people who have been playing for a long time that were used to having all of the really gritty extra rule sets and all of the extra options and character stuff. And then when they find that it's been taken away from them and that all of the other elements of the game have been distilled down into these very fine mathematical equations, then a little bit of the luster kind of goes away.
Mm-hmm.
I think like a lot of that can be
Makes
modified
sense.
if you have a good DM. A lot of that can be mitigated by just homebrewing some things and letting other stuff happen, and setting your own rules. Which fifth edition, I think, has tried to open it up to essentially the normie and make it more easy, more facilitate entry into
Yeah.
the game. I think that's what they've tried to do, but a lot of stuff has kind of been lost. A lot of like he's saying, the richness that you could do has been kind of cut
Neither.
away. So yeah, let me just go back to the chat real quick here. Flithammer says, okay, where was that? That's when you start beef with Warhammer YouTubers to boost your sub count. so so we do our own thing and start throwing shade at the other more competent Warhammer people.
Just start making shit
Yeah,
up
just start
and then
making
just
shit up and
tag
saying
them
this is
every
canon.
day.
This is canon. We say it's canon because we say it is.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what? Okay, I know this is way off topic, but could you imagine what Ichisoku reviewers and Warhammer 40k would be like together?
I have no idea what that
What
means,
was
but
that first thing before Warhammer? What did you say?
Warhammer 40k and Ishizoku reviewers.
what?
What?
Oh, I forgot. I forgot. Marty is kind of a weeb.
Interspecies reviewers.
I have no
The
idea what
English
that is, but I'll
translation.
take your word for it, as I usually do with such things. I can't imagine that because I don't know what that is. But if I can equate Warhammer 40k YouTubers or like fans, the fans of Warhammer they're literally fanatic. They're very serious about their stuff. So yeah, if the other thing is
Sounds like
similar, then
Hershey.
yeah, it would be
Hershey.
crazy. Like Star Trek and Star Wars have nothing on Warhammer in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Flithammer says, by old school, do you mean 3.5 rules? Old school, it's like, first and second edition, AD&D.
I was going to say 3.5 is still puppy rules.
Yeah.
Like,
AD&D back in the day
yeah,
was dance.
you want to you want to hardline it, go to second edition, go play AD&D. And then, you know, once once your Kiwis drop, then you can come and you can talk to the old schoolers. Like, third edition is third edition 3.5, all that stuff is, I mean, it wasn't good to begin with. That's why they had to do a 3.5. But like, it just, all they did was they just stuffed the game with everything they could think of. And, that was why it blew up. That's why Pathfinder exists today, was because they did it better.
Yeah. See, listen to Phil. He knows much more than I do. And
I didn't get into Pathfinder because the character sheet is like 3 pages, 4 pages long. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Pathfinder, is one of those games that if you want to play it, you need to take 6 hours to build a character. And if you were an old school gamer, you were a fan of like the Palladium system, you were a fan of Shadowrun, you were a fan of any of that old stuff. Building characters, unless you were playing Palladium, then it would take a couple of days. But if you were playing GURPS or any of those other game systems, you would have a character done in an hour
Do you say
tops.
Palladium, not Paladin?
I always said Palladium, but I could very well be wrong.
that's all right.
Yeah, don't ask me about pronunciation.
Pablo Romero says, "Nerd." Apparently, he's just casting that out to whoever.
Why, thank you.
Foot Amaranth says, "Please, no bully, Pablo." Sad cry face. Yes, Pablo's a bully. He's not. He's too cool. He's a jock. He's a sporto Pablo.
The jock of all nerds.
That's right. Even though I was a jock too, but yeah, Ezra Caleb West. Dan Abnett's Gaunt's Ghost is one of the best Warhammer 40k novel series. I would agree. And Dan Abnett knows what he's doing. He's a really good writer. Yeah. Sheldon Martin says, "Bully for you," and then Pablo just laughs maniacally.
Hey, I think I'm finished.
You are? What?
Yeah.
Is there any color in it? Is there any color in it?
Color? Can you see my pictures?
Let me see, Spencer.
It's over here, boy.
Wow. There it is.
Yeah, there it
is. And what's her compromising position? Is she just running away?
She's, decided to take a late night stretch and do some late night yoga.
Oh.
And it's kind of backfired on her.
Very, very compromising, indeed. Yep. Well, Spencer comes roaring back with the slickness, slicker than not slick as me, but slick. All right. So yeah.
Are you down with the sickness?
He's down with the sickness. Yeah. Ezra Caleb West says, "All hail Slanesh, you sick bastard." And then he also says, "Stupid phone." I guess that's his phone, and then Namor sucks. Sometimes, if you're lucky. Whoa. Hey, we don't know how he rolls. It's never been delineated. And in the current Marvel, he could very much turn into, a furry, non-binary. Sheldon Martin says,
"Non-binary."
Non-binary, yeah.
Snowflake.
Going back to the snowflake, yeah, that's right. Smartphone is stupid. Isn't ironic? Isn't it ironic? Yeah.
Just the internet gas, man.
Yeah. Phil, I won't be troubling this episode.
Say again?
No, Sheldon says to you, "Phil, I won't be trouble in this episode."
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Sure.
Internet gas definitely has Doritos.
Okay. Let's see. Ezra thinks twins are better, so he's in the twin. And then Amaranth hashtag pussy posse. Yes, you can use that as a hashtag. Fill it up. That's all I gotta say. Pablo says, "A lot of Italians here." There must be, because you guys sound fairly Italian. That's how we got the coronavirus. Oh! I just said it. Oh boy. I should have said the woo. Dope. I guess I'm gonna be demonetized. People are coming back from.
Just say the beer virus.
What? The
Mexican beer virus.
The B what? Okay. People are coming back from Italy. Really? Terrible. And rip Pablo from Flit Amaranth. We will honor your memory. Indeed. We will put up a monument to your sexy 80s characters and with huge boobs that defy gravity.
And your hubris.
And that's right.
Your fucking hubris.
Ezra says Flit Amaranth, old school D&D equals OD D&D, basics expert D&D, and first edition AD&D. Yeah, that's old school stuff. And if you have those books, they're hard to get a hold of now. I have a full set of those. So, all right. Pablo Romero says I don't have it. I'm probably referring to the Woo. Sheldon Martin, we will honor you with the finest Italian pastries filled with the Woo. Foot Amaranth. Oh, damn, Ezra. You mean the real old school rules? Yeah, the real old school rules. The way old school. Pablo Romero. I'm not Italian and or have Italian relatives. Well, why not? That's spicy. Those Italians. Okay, moving down.
Wasn't it like one of the old schools in D&D that elf was a class?
Was it a class? It's always been a race, as far as I know.
There it used to be that classes. Um, he's not entirely wrong. It used to be that you would choose, like, if you chose to be a non-human race, that there were very specific things that you could do with them.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Paulo Romero says, I also rarely get out of my house. You introvert, you agoraphobic. All of us are agoraphobics now because it's the Woo. Pablo equals incel confirmed. That's what Flit says. Pablo says, in fact, it is more probable that I get dengue fever before I get the Woo. All right. Okay. He says he draws too much. He's just a shut-in with a pencil in his hand, paper underneath him, just scribbling away. His back slowly
So big
deteriorating.
imagination.
Yeah. And he says, now I'm thinking that I might have to add a couple of extra pages to my comic. Well, then you won't be on the Cheesecake Challenge. You need to finish that shit, man. Come on. Flit says, Marty knows interspecies. Marty knows interspecies reviewers. I'm intrigued. Yeah. So am I.
I think we all do by this point.
Where'd that come from? Ezra says 3.5 D&D is crunch heavy and filled with false options. I am an old school D&D zealot. All right. Calm down, Ezra. Calm down.
I think the
Pathfinder
problem was
sucks. I just have
when
Valparaiso. That's what he
they
said.
introduced the idea of feats, and then they saw what that would do to the game mechanics, and they tried to backpedal in fourth edition, and then they've left it as a general option in fifth edition that you don't really like. It's very clear that they don't want you to use feats in fifth edition.
Yeah, it's up to the DM whether these feats are.
Yeah, which, is more or less their way of saying we don't want you to use them. And
Well, Wizards of the Coast can go suck balls because it can be, a DM can do what they want.
yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. Ultimately, it always is going to boil down to house ruling and the DM, what the DM wants. But the problem is that they make it so that characters that are taking feat options are losing attribute modifiers. And even if it's only the 1 point, that's still 1 point. That's a big deal once you get up to 12th, 15th. And, if your character is lagging behind just even in a couple of points, the math is real tight in 5th edition. And so it doesn't pay to take a lot of feats. But I know when I run 5th edition, I will almost always give feats and attribute bonuses at the same time because I prefer a really high-powered game.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that makes it funner, especially by the end when you really got characters that really are rolling hot. And like one of the things that I hear people online when I read about it, they're like, "Well, that breaks the game," and I'm like, "Well, then you don't have a really good imagination about how to challenge the characters if you're having a problem DMing that. Just pump it up. That's all you got to do, and then the characters are challenged, and then you have fun. The idea is to think of situations where it just escalates and escalates and escalates, where you're fighting a world-ending conflict, and that to me that's a fun idea. But I mean, maybe other people just like to keep it street level or whatever. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Going back
Yeah.
to the chat really quick. It was Palladium Books, by the way. So Caleb Ezra says that. So Ezra says 3.5. Okay, pass. Okay. Flint Amaret says 3.5 is the only rule set I know, and I am ashamed. Cry face. Don't
It's
feel
not a bad
bad.
system. It's
And
honestly not a bad system. I mean, it was revolutionary for the time, but the you know the problem was is that when all the Smash books started coming out, and then the system got just overcrowded with fluff, and when you have so many house rules that make it in as potentially rules, then it's easy to lose track of what the game is supposed to be.
I
Yeah.
mean, you have to pick and choose, and I think that if you get yourself a good group of people who can, you know, modify the game and play it how you want. I guess if you want to go to tournaments and stuff like that, and run by how Wizard wants you to run, well, fine. But I've never found that even remotely and something I want to do. I just want to play with my friends, and that's what's happened with me on this online game that I'm playing. I'm playing with my friends. We're just having a good time and goofing around once a week to blow off steam, which I think is what gaming should be, as opposed to some sort of, you know, making yourself into famous because you're whatever. Anyway, Ezra says Palladium books games were fun. Don't forget Rollmaster and RuneQuest.
And those are great games too.
Flit says Spencer phoning it in again. Eye roll. So you got a little bit of shade there, Josh. Is Josh still here? He's gone to have a sandwich. Fine. Okay. And Ezra's really into the gaming talk right now, but I still love OD&D and BX D&D. So yeah, yeah. We're down to we're getting down new fetish. What's the new fetish, Sheldon? What's the new fetish? He just said new fetish. Feet with wings on them. Oh, I get it. Feet spelled like the feet of a D&D. So there you go. Let's look at the panel, since we've been talking forever about the chat and about D&T, which probably has isolated certain people. Maybe, unless everybody's a nerd. Cat, go away! God damn it!
He strikes again.
Fucking cat. All right. All right. Let's look at Armoron. It says, I'm stuck. Yep. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You asked for it.
There you have it. Yeah. Is that done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right.
Okay.
You just post that in the chat, and then I'll put that up later. We're gonna have the vote. You can stick around and BS with us now that you're not drawing, or you can start drawing on something else. Whatever you want to do. We're glad to have you here.
Yeah, I gotta go to work in an hour, so
Well, if you want to stick around and BS, we got about 10 minutes right now. So before we're
I
done
got
with the
time.
drawing,
I'll hang around still.
and then we will do the poll. That takes about another 10 to 12, 15 minutes, and then we're done. So yeah, we're right at just before 11 o'clock right now, my time. This is Humble's. She is adding the color in, as she usually does. Humble loves color. It's her thing. Bright and vibrant. Humble Marty. Going over to our friend Illustrator Monk. Are you done, Monk?
Yeah, I'm done.
He's just added a little color. Obviously, the sunlight's on her and has turned her into stone. And she looks like she was presenting a proposal to somebody, and she got stuck.
An indecent proposal.
An indecent proposal, which probably made whoever she was enticing there a little bit frustrated. Damn it. Going over to Phil, he's doing his Copics. Very nice, very pretty lady he's done today. Going over to Spencer, to Josh Spencer. He's off gallivanting somewhere, but this is his finished piece with Desdemona, and yeah, she's slowly turning to the stone as the sun comes up, and she's like shit. Going over to Danny Vegas, Daniel Tech Vegas. Uh, he's got two girls. He's got a mask going on there. Looks like, and yeah, is it almost finished, man?
Yeah. I think I can make this cut right
Yeah,
here.
if you can make it like a little bit more of a gradient between stone to body, that would be probably worth it. So, all right, that's the panel right now. Let's go back to the chat, see what else they're saying. This has been a fun one. I liked we've talked about a lot of different things, goofed around a bit, talked about gaming, about Warhammer, about D&D, about the deal with Diamond, a little bit about Safe Space and Snowflake. It was it's one of those weeks. We've had a lot to look at in the world of comics. Hopefully, comics will survive, but who knows? That was a big sigh.
Yeah.
What's the matter? What's the matter, Josh?
I think I just had to get a drink.
Get a drink. Is it a hard drink or just some
I need a
hydration?
hard drink.
You need a hard drink?
I think so.
Well, go get one. Going to the chat. So Sheldon Martin wants feet pics, as in feet from Dungeons and Dragons. So we need feet pics.
Feet.
Get it? Feet pics.
Yeah.
Ezra says yes. It was 3.5 is a cancer upon D&D. He has very strong feelings about 3.5.
I noticed. Wow, that's some harsh words there.
He did not dig it. He didn't dig it at all. But you know, that's what Easy does. He tells it
I've
like
just
it is.
noticed Amaran's joke there in his picture.
Yeah, someone is stuck underneath there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see the hemispheres of whoever's bum it is.
What's
Yeah.
what's his name? The Jonathan Frakes character?
Oh, what is his name? Goliath?
Riker?
No.
Oh no, his is a Xander or something.
Xanatos.
Xanatos, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
I was going to add
Who's
like an extra panel of his face, but yeah.
who's the voice of Goliath?
Keith David.
Keith David.
Yeah. Let's see, where are we at? Flit Amaranth says because of the cat drinks. I'm not sure I'll survive this stream. Yeah, it's been like I think I've had 6. So I don't know. Are you doing full shots or just like finger? Who knows? If you're doing full shots, yeah, you're gonna be fucked up, dude. Just saying. Sheldon Martin says, was she banging when she turned to rock? Well, she looks like she's pegging somebody or like doing something, you know. So I assume that's for armor on.
No,
Caleb,
she's riding the guy.
she's riding.
Yeah, because he says, I'm stuck.
I'm stuck. Oh boy. Well, maybe is she Futa?
Get it?
Is she Futa or she's got a strap on?
It's just like in The Boys.
Oh
Ever
boy.
watched that show, The Boys?
Oh
Jimmy?
boy. Yeah, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
With the ice girl,
Uh-huh.
and the guy has sex with the ice girl, and then she turns to ice, and he gets frozen off.
Yep. I hear you. Yeah. Fun stuff. Ezra says he's talking directly to me. I am not a nerd. I'm a hooligan and geek. Yep. I'm a geek too. I'm not a nerd. I've never really looked like a nerd, but I am definitely a geek. Sheldon Martin says I like Phil's. Very Frank Cho-esque. And then Ezra says Frank Cho rules. So that's some high praise there for you, Phil.
That
And
is
I
high
appreciate
praise.
it. And I believe in both of you.
So Sheldon says F and E. F and E. That's yeah. Pablo says lots of redesigns of Safe Space and Snowflake. Yeah, you should do one, man. Pablo should do a redesign, and go
Is
extreme,
it
go
been
big.
too oversaturated and too late in the game to do one?
To do what?
I don't know.
I think to do it and make a dent.
Yeah. There's I think a lot of people have covered it already.
Yeah.
At Flammer says David Xanatos. Do anybody know what that is? I don't know what that is. Come
That's
No,
on.
that's the name of
Jonathan Frakes character.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. There we go. All right. All right. Yeah, you're right.
Because he
Now
made those awesome cyborg gargoyles.
yeah. That's true. Sheldon Martin. Somebody's dong is stuck in a rock. This is true. Yep. Armoron is he's got his own fetish. That's what's yeah. That's just a regular laugh, not a ha 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 ha. And Armoron says no. Dot 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 dot. Yes. And then Flip says hashtag rock hard. Indeed. Ezra goes back to the talk about D&D. I ran a 5th edition D&D from 1st to 20th level, then sold all my 5th edition books. If I ran it now, it would be deadly as fuck. So, yeah. Yep, definitely. We are at 4 minutes. 4 minutes. It's a 4-minute warning. And we got 8 people still in the chat. Let's see how many people liked. Oh, we got 13 likes. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We're going to run down the panel one more time. Let's look at Armoron. Yeah, he's got his little. Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I thought those were buttocks down below, and that she was actually either got her fingers in it or she was pegging somebody. Now I see what he was trying to do. She's on top, he's on bottom, and those are pecs. And yeah, that's gonna be awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Marty's finishing up with the color. Very nice, very pretty. Lots and lots of color going on there. Illustrator Monkey is finished with his piece. A little bit of color added to the stone of his Gargoyle Girl. A little bit of little sunlight touching everything. Very nice, very cute. We got Phil adding a little bit of nipplage, and I'm down with that. That's good. She's caught. I can't see the bottom, but I assume that there's more to the shot. Yeah, she's totally caught, and yeah, very good. Going over to Josh Spencer.
Yo.
We've seen that. He's finished. He did it very quickly. Josh comes in at the halfway mark and finishes up in less time with his piece. Yeah.
I just did it very kind of cartoony,
Yeah.
bit rough, but just wanted to get it out there.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And then we got Danny Vegas. He's got 2 very friendly gargoyles caught in a wrestling match as the sun came up. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That happens.
Well,
it
we'll
happens.
go with that.
In Gargoyle world, that happens. They're always challenging themselves and their abilities, and sometimes they're just not paying attention to the time and get caught that way. Yeah.
Sure.
This poor girl lost her top somehow, somewhere. Maybe she didn't have a top in the first place. Who knows? Where are we at? Where are we sitting at? We are at 1 minute. Let me do a countdown here. Countdown for y'all coming in, and got a little bit yet. So looks really good. Great art today. Fantastic. Really excited about what we've seen. And for those people who love this stuff, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. put your pencils and implements down. We are done with the Cheesecake Challenge today. Flit Amaranth, please, if you can, put the poll up for us to vote on, and we'll get this done and finished up for this weekend, or for this week. There it goes, everybody. If you guys want to, please vote. Everybody in the chat, everybody in the panel, please do so. I'm going to read the last stuff that has been written while we do that. Paulo Romero, Amaron already did a good redesign of Snowflake. He did a really very one that is Pablo Romero-esque in that degree, very much so. Amaron says, Paulo Romero, yeah, Slick Jimmy wanted me on here because of that. This is true, and I want you on here again because you did something quite good.
Yeah.
Very amusing. Sheldon Martin says, great work, Amaron. Yeah, very, very nice today. Amaron says, I might use my snowflake design for my own OC purposes. I would do that. Just different colors and some further changes, indeed. And we're going down here. Amaron says it did an action shot of her firing ice like shards instead of silly snowflake shurikens. Yes. Spencer says, vote now. And I agree. Everybody go vote. Make sure you pick your favorite. And
Okay, nobody steal this name. Okay. Ice sickle instead of snowflake.
okay. Nobody
Right.
steal it now that he's put it out there.
I was just saying, like, if you're gonna make her black, you should do it like you should have her called Cold Snap.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty sweet.
And instead of safe space, I was gonna do sanctuary.
I was just gonna make her a feminist in color, frigid.
Isn't it? Her.
Har 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 har.
She's a cold bitch.
She is one cold bitch. Bish. All right. We have 4 votes. Y'all need to go vote. You need to go vote. Do it.
Sheldon says, "Can you show everyone's art again?"
Yes, I can. Indeed. There it is. There is Amaranth. As the sun comes up on Desdemona. Embroiled in a tryst, it seems. There's Marty. There we go. That's Humble Marty. And then we got Illustrator Monk. There's Phil Connect. Can we see the whole piece, Phil? You got it kind of close.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, my camera doesn't pan back far enough to really get all over, but
yeah, it's very nice. I like it. Like I said, I don't mind a little bit of nudity if you want to go there. That's fine. And quite cute. I really like this one. And there's Josh Spencer with Desdemona once again. And going down the line, down to Danny Vega with his duo of very colorful, lovely gargoyles, practicing their wrestling skills. All right, going to Flit Amaranth says testicle is greater than icicle. Testicle.
Testicle.
Yeah, testicle.
Testicle.
All right, I get it. Flit, you're a funny guy. Flit, vote, you scrub lords. That's what he says. You guys do need to go vote. Let me check on the poll. See where we're at. Got to refresh.
We've got a leader right now.
Yeah, we do. We have a leader. Got 7 votes. People need to vote.
Vote now.
Like I said, we're gonna go till.
Also, the panel needs to vote.
Yeah, panel vote. Go vote, panel. Go vote. Please go vote. All right, we got We got 9 votes. I think there's
Is
9.
the intro music to Joy of Painting, is that copyright?
I would assume, yeah.
That's a shame.
I would. I don't know. You can check on it. I mean, you have to find out what the name of it is, and then go check ASCAP or and BMI. See if that's
Check ASCAP.
ASCAP.
I don't know if I want to Google that.
There's the two like copyright things for music. So, yeah. It's you have to if you do. I mean, since they're whole people who go out there and listen for every show to see who's using copyrighted music so they can strike you. Yes.
Really? Seems like a waste of time.
Well, they want to get their cut of stuff. So basically, they steal once anything that's been copyright struck and is they can take the money for it. They can take whatever comes off of that the monetization. Yeah, that's nice. Isn't it nice? Anyway. Uh, this stream is the progenitor of all kinds of new fetishes. That's what it says. What are your favorite D&D races? Mine are elves, tieflings, and orcs. That's Ezra. Currently, my favorite is a Goliath because I'm running a Goliath right now. So
Dragonborn, Goliath, Genasi, and Eladrin.
I'm gonna try one of those cat people next. That would be
The
fun.
Tabaxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right.
See,
I like a variant human. If you could choose a feat.
the feet. Oh, there you go. That's cool. Let's see. Let's go check and see how.
There's so many builds that are 100% dependent on the variant human.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Since we don't have Bad Ankle Bill to look at here, he's kind of getting the short end of the stick. I'm gonna give another. Go to 20 after, and yeah.
Although I like a drow or a half elf as well.
Drow are really cool, but the problem with Drow is that they've got issues when it comes to playability with them. Yeah, with them having difficulties with sunlight. It always just seemed like it was a bad move to do that to them.
Yeah. I've had a player that was a drow that got sunglasses made for him, like magical sunglasses, so he could see in the sunlight.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
like you have to cover them up in a like a cloak too. I mean, that's the only way they can get around because otherwise they get burned up. I mean, I guess
They
you
don't
could.
get burned up.
Well, they have problems with the sun. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's in as the book's rules as written. It's just vision. They have disadvantage to perception.
in older editions though, they had problems. Like if they were out in sunlight, they suffered like negative penalties and all kinds of things.
Right.
So where we're sitting at, we got 2 minutes till I'm just gonna call it right now. I don't think anybody's gonna. We got 11 votes.
Flit's asking about evil characters. That's funny because I'm running an evil campaign at the moment.
You sick bastard.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, guys. Calling it right now at 18 after, 19 after. Appreciate y'all coming out. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna go briefly back to the chat. We got 8 people still sticking with us.
By the
Most
way,
of it-
he's still whiteboxing.
Oh, sorry,
Was
Daniel. There we go.
somebody?
All right, sorry about that. Um, I just got called a furry because I want to be a tabaxi. No, I like cats. That's why I like it. Come on, Flit.
Meow.
Jimmy equal furry confirmed.
There's actually a cat folk in Pathfinder that is way more furry than that tabaxi.
Ezra just flipped off Dragonborn. He doesn't like Dragonborns. Yeah.
Oh, you don't like being good. That's a shame.
It's funny, Dragonborn don't have dark vision. Like that doesn't make sense.
The variants do, but yeah, that's something that I always give.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna do the. We're ready now. I'm just gonna do one more. Um, there we go. And starting from the bottom, uh, Bad Ankle Bill did not get any votes because he left early, and we can't really observe what he made. He did do something pretty cool, but it was not finished. So that's the way it goes. But I will include him on what he puts in the cheesecake chat. Uh, with a tie for one vote apiece, Josh Spencer, Illustrator Monk, Humble Marty. So they actually get the bronze medal.
Oh wow.
Hey, all right.
Yep, you got to share that bronze medal. All right. Yeah, that was 9% of the vote.
Congratulations, Marty.
That's right.
Thank you.
And Illustrator Monk did a very nice piece today, but he's in the bottom group right now today. Uh,
What?
yeah, sadly, that's the way it goes. Yeah, with two votes apiece for 18% of the vote, and there's two of them. Amaron, first time on the show, and Danny Vega, Tech Corner. They both get the
Yay!
silver. There with the silver,
Yay.
and
Yay!
and
Yay.
with four votes and 36% of the vote is Phil Connect. He gets the gold.
Sweet.
Damn, I knew I shouldn't have voted Tech Corner.
I'm bowing.
So yeah, that's how it shook out tonight, and I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go one last time back to the chat, see what we have said a little bit. Uh, Ezra still talking about D&D. He's stuck in a feedback loop. Orcs, goblins, and drow have issues with the sun until Wizards of the Coast ruined them. And Sheldon Martin says, "Great work, guys. Fun show. Thank you, Sheldon. Very appreciate it. I'm glad that you didn't go and start ruining the show as you people thought you might. You're just an asset. I appreciate that." Flint Amaranth says, "Ooh, shots fired. Care to respond, Ezra?" Sheldon says, "Remember Goro, cool evil character." Ah, yes, this is it's true. Nice work, everyone, from Flit Amaranth, and evil campaigns can be okay. That's Ezra. That's the end of the chat. All y'all, people in the panel, people in the chat, thank you for coming out for the Cheesecake Challenge. This 23rd Cheesecake Challenge dedicated to the great Gargoyle girls of, um, of lore. And for those of you who want to know what next week is going to be all about, I'm going to come up with another new theme, and we'll have a new panel, and hopefully we'll have a lot more fun goofing around and talking about naughty fetishes all damn night. So for for all of our panel members, do you guys want to shout out the stuff that you have going on, or do you want to just cut it short?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down the panel. We're gonna do Armoron. He's got to go to work soon. So do you want to shout anything you got?
I'm not working on anything right now. Just doing my thing, like just doing fan arts, whatnot. Can be found on Twitter.
Do you do commissions?
I'm on one. I'm doing commissions. Yeah, I do accept commissions as well. So
All
I'm
right.
in the middle of a few right now. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Armor on One, and then DeviantArt, same name without the one.
There you
And I
go.
have a Patreon,
Go hit.
same name.
Oh, you have a Patreon too. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Go hit up Armoron for really cool looking art. You can get a commission from him, and possibly in the future, you may never know. He might have something fun for you guys to go get off of Crowdfunder or something. Ezra Caleb West says we should do a Sucker Punch theme. That's something to think about, actually.
Mhm.
Over to Marty. Marty, do you want to shill your stuff or what?
Oh, sure. I have a book on Amazon called The Adventures of Corkhorn Bubble Tea Blues on Amazon. Link is in the chat.
Excellent. All right.
And you can also find me on Twitter at Humble Marty and DeviantArt as Humble Marty.
Excellent. Illustrator Monk, you want to shill something?
Tales from the Stacks Collector's Edition is on Indiegogo, and Saving the World is on Kickstarter.
Are you open for commissions, or are you too busy right now?
Not right now.
Okay. He's closed for commissions. We also have Phil Connect. What do you got to show there, bud?
Um, I'm still working on Medicine 242, and we are going to be launching the podcast, Something Sketchy, this upcoming week here. And, stay tuned for that. That's going to be a blast. And other than that, nothing much. Just drawing pictures.
Do you do any commissions?
Um, if you ask very nicely.
There you have it. Josh Spencer, I know you do commissions.
I do. I do.
Do, 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 do.
Uh, I do. Commissions, yes. Contact me at Spencer Tunes on Twitter, Instagram, my website, joshspencer.com.au, or my, what's it called, DeviantArt, if anyone uses that anymore, at Spencer Tunes as well.
Yeah, okay. And finally, Danny Vegas. What you got?
You can. I'm open for commissions. You can find me at Twitter at the Tech Corner, and also on YouTube at the Tech Corner. If you, I do both safe work and not safe for work stuff. And if you would like to email me, you can find me at d.vega24@yahoo.com.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you for the new people coming out, Bill and Armoron. Really, Bill's not here, but Armoron, if you want to come back anytime, you are welcome. Thank you for the
Cool.
great artists on the panel. Congratulations to Phil Connect for taking the gold. Maybe he feels vindicated, but we have great artists every week, and they do great work for everybody out there in Webtown, as my friend Crypt Comics says. Take care of yourself. Be smart. Wash your hands. Practice social distancing for the time being, and treat people how you'd want them to be, want yourself to be treated, because it's a crazy world out there right now, and we need level heads, not people being nutballs. Y'all take care, and everybody say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye!
There we go. And we're saying that